Just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Just have to share this real quick. One more share. Hold on. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. What is going on, everyone? This is your boy, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, as all your support really helps this legally blind YouTube content creators to remain motivated to continue making a variety of different type of videos on this channel, and through the YouTube algorithms would really help this channel grow. Okay. Right, just one moment. Alright, I know to do. Okay, so, we're gonna first, first of all, if there's a big gap, I'm sorry I had to a little bit of this game offline because I had to make some use of the screen magnifier, the inbuilt screen magnifier for PlayStation 4, which like, you know, look at this. It won't let me use it. I don't know if that's sure, but it won't let me use it while I'm streaming. Hopefully this is not a problem on the PlayStation 5. Okay, gunpowder. Okay, so I'm a bit better equipped. Okay, so I got rid of the biohazard card. I got the blue emblem card. Okay, so let's talk about the new game MCU meets the Biohazard. Okay, with no Tony Stark in it, or who knows, there might be a Tony Stark stand-in. Yeah, that might be Chris Redfield. Like blue umbrella, he has the blue umbrella suit on. Okay. Do I need anything? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to go to the store. Hold on, let me just kill these zombies. Come on. Okay. Now let's. Oh. Okay. I thought I could turn into pastrami. Right. Okay. So I've seen. Wait. But before all that, my good YouTube friend, Mr. Manson, the residents of Manson, he said in my previous VODs that like in the VOD that the microphone level was a bit too low compared to the game audio level. So it was set at 17%, so I set it to 21%. People, please let me know if you can hear me, more clearly, or like, you know, as a comment in the comments, or, you know, in the live chat, if you can hear me clearly, or if you need me to turn up my microphone from my PlayStation a bit more. Okay, so that out of the way. Now what we got is that there's some confusion. Oh, sorry, I guys, think about it. This is a chain link elevator. Something you see like it used to exist very, very long time ago, in, you know, sometimes even in, like, you know, in third world countries. Okay, like the umbrella facility in 1998, where you have CCTV cameras and all that. Like, why would you do this? Okay, and I don't know if you followed my previous stream. It's like I said, it's as if Capcom are giving you loads of ammunition, you know, just like as a complimentary gift. Like, hey, if you want to shoot up the place, here's some ammo. Like, you know, ammo's in the house. Okay, but getting back to Resident Evil 9, there's some confusion about, like, you know, the potential story, and, like, you know, rightfully so, because, you know, it's just a trailer. Like, first of all, if Alyssa is actually dead, hold on. Oh, actually kill him. Damn it. Okay, because I need to be fine, because okay, okay, so Raccoon City, right? So now, was this city completely destroyed, or was it like a, like I said, what are we supposed to believe? For all this time, we, okay, for all this time we thought that Raccoon City was destroyed. So, was it not destroyed? And if it was not destroyed, like, did they start rebuilding in 2000 and, what you call it, 2017 onwards? Because, see, if you, like, recall the start of Resident Evil Degeneration, okay, it started with that image. It started with the image of that's all that remains of Raccoon City. So, was it actually destroyed? Was it talking about a flashback? Okay, I will need the... Damn it, I'm in caution. Okay. Anyways, so was it like... So that's something that needs to be discussed, or at least, like, you know, thought out. Okay. Another thing is, hold on. Why do I feel like missing something? Where am I? Oh. Okay. Because I feel there's something right there. Okay, and if I can climb... If I can climb this... Hold on. If I can climb this box... It's been a while since I've played this game, actually. Okay. Now, another thing. Someone mentioned that... and, well, you know what? This someone, I still, like, you know, like, I don't have anything against this person. So, Raccoon City Pizza, or, like, you know, who are just, you know, endearingly called the Pizza Man. No? Yeah, he mentioned that there's, you know, there were signs of little children. Now, if there were signs of little children, so there must be a cult of some sort. And this is where it, like, you know, I go into that territory of the evil within. Like, this is Resident Evil combining with the evil within. Okay, this is a new door. Interesting. Hold on, let me just move the mic to a side. It appears to... it's possible that the T virus leaks from here. Okay. Wait, what? So that location was reserved for Chris, basically. Okay. Wait, there's something there. Why does it want me to use the bowgun here? The bowgun is like toothpicks. Okay. Okay, so if there is a cult in Resident Evil, what do you call it? 9. Then it'll be somewhat in the territory of The Last of Us Part 2, which that's one of the greatest failures of The Last of Us Part 2 is because they use that element of storytelling to basically insert political messages, and like, you know, given some of the things we heard from some of the developers of The Last of Us, that's somewhat unsurprising. So let's hope Capcom does not go that route. But there's also parts of a flashback. Now, I speculate that if there was a cult, then Grace was part of this cult. And if Grace was part of this cult, Grace knows a bit more than, you know, that Nick Fury character. What happened, what actually happened. Let's just go. Yeah, let's just get out of here. Okay. Okay, now I am preparing some more no, I'm preparing some more Code Veronica videos, like, you know, little jokes and whatnot, you know, just for entertainment purposes, you know, just to keep you guys entertained until I finish the I finish my work on the Angela Orozco video. Okay, not many, just a couple videos. Okay. Okay. There better be some health items in here. Okay. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, a cult. Now, if there is a cult, like I said, the story they can go is that, you know, they will have half the game as a flashback and half the game as, you know, regular, like, you know, real time. Something like you saw in God of War Ascension. Like, you know, part of the game was in a flashback. Sometimes Claire will do this thing. She'll move her head. And when she moves her head, she's usually looking at something, looking at an interactable item. Or interactable element of the environment. So those type of things are nice to see. Okay. However, I mentioned this earlier in my I mentioned this Okay. Just so that I don't run out of ammo. Okay, so if we have that angle where, like, you have what's her name, Grace Ashcroft, part of a cult that she escaped or something, because they showed her being, like, upside down crucified or something like that. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so, and, like, there's like an IV drip inside or something like that, chosen one, something. Yeah, so like I said, there might be a, like, half and half type of story, pre and post type of story. Okay, and as for Grace, his mom, what's her name? Alyssa. As for Alyssa, okay, she might be dead, but here's the thing. My another good YouTube friend, Urza Titanium Wins, mentioned something very poignant, that Resident Evil has done this a few times, that they say someone was dead in the beginning, and then later on, like, nah, she's alive.
Biohazard contamination detected. Level 3. Emergency shutters will close. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Okay. I always wondered what would happen if the timer ran out at that point. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I have to take. Okay. Am I missing something here? No. Okay. That being said, so there's a very high likelihood that Alyssa is not dead, and they are actually taking something from the Evil Within Part 2 and basically expanding that story, if you will. Or like taking elements of that story. However, the Evil Within Part 2. Oh no. Stupid zombies. Hold on. Let me move the mic. I gotta inspect this. Okay, it's a diagram something after this of the facility. Okay, something plate. There's in the writing on it. Okay, what does the writing say? Okay, go get something and put it in there. Okay, something to the training facilities completion. December 8th, Alfred Ashford. Okay. Okay, and I thought they would actually give me some health item or something. Wait, it's a no, it seems with a it's locked with a simple lock. Man, see, I don't want to give Rodrigo the God. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't want to give Rodrigo the hemostatic medicine because if I give him the medicine, I won't have my lighter. Okay. Anyways, so if they go the evil within two route, mixed in with the worst parts of The Last of Us Part Two, then I will have to say this: people, be prepared for a game story that will not deliver. Because see, unlike the remakes where the story is already set, and wait, what's this? That's a cartridge. Unlike the story of thing where everything is already set, like the remakes, it's basically they already have the template for everything, so they just wait, where am I going? Okay, Okay, I'm going to look here. Okay, they have the template set for everything, right? So once that's like, they can just, okay, because the template is basically the original story. Oh, that was just a light, stupid lights that are confusing again. Man, I miss regenerative health. Modern gaming spoiled me, man. Okay. But other than that, now the other thing we have to talk about is Chris's involvement. I'm like, how is Chris involved in this? Because, like I said, the higher likelihood is that Chris is in the game instead of Leon, because Leon is still attached to Ingrid Hunnigan, and Leon will usually go where Hunnigan sends him. Essentially, Leon's job. Leon is getting paid to do that. And like, I might get to, like, why from a character development perspective that is a bad thing for Leon, and one of the reasons I kind of don't like Leon Kennedy. Okay, hold on, I have to focus here. And I feel I have to focus here as well. Okay, no. Okay, yeah, I don't do that. Okay. Bad thing. I don't hear it. Good. Okay. It's a bad thing for Leon. So I don't know. Chris might be there. Like, Chris might be there because he's there due to some investigation from Blue Umbrella, because Umbrella was basically like, yeah, they've had offices everywhere and all that, but it was based in Raccoon City. Good Lord, I was just literally shooting into thin air. Listen, Mr. Zombie, bullets don't grow on trees. Okay, in this game they act as if they grow on furniture, but still. Okay, so when I fire a gun, you better get in front of the barrel and eat the bullet, Mr. Monster. Yes, Mr. Monster. There are only 2 females in this game. One of them, like, I'm playing as one of them, and the other one is, she's gone completely off the deep end. I think I can afford a save here. Good lord, I miss Game Shark. I want Infinite Encryption. I'm sorry. Okay, so Chris is probably gonna be there to basically handle a Blue Umbrella business, because that's one way I can see them actually tying in what happened at the end of Resident Evil Village with like, you know, the rest of the game. Okay. Now, if it is, you know what would be awesome actually? Because here's the thing, all these, like, these Resident Evil characters are getting older, right? No, let me just move this out of the way. Okay, all the Resident Evil characters are getting older and whatnot. I mean, especially if it's Resident Evil 9, right? Okay, like, think about it. Okay, in 1998, this game, how old was Chris? He was 25 years old. Okay, and Resident Evil 9 at least takes place in 2025 because Nick Fury mentioned by name that, or mentions, like, verbally mentioned that Alyssa Ashcroft died 8 years ago. And we know that there was a journal article written by Alyssa Ashcroft in 2017. So, as dead people cannot write articles, the earliest time for her death is right after, pretty much, publishing that article. I feel there's something here. Okay, so if it's 2025, right? So Chris is 25 years old in this game, which is in 1998. Okay, so 1998, 2008, 2018. By that time, he is 45 years old by 2018. Okay, so 2018 plus 7 is 2025. So he's 52 years old in 2025 by the time of Resident Evil 9, if Chris is in it. If it takes place in 2025, at least 52 years old. Okay, now, wouldn't any of these people have a family? Like, you would think that people in, like, in the 40s, 50s, they would at least have kids or something. Okay, or have all of them all together vowed never to have children. Hold on, let me read this. Okay, so where I'm trying to go with this is, wouldn't it be, I mean, I know it would piss some shippers off, but then again, good lord, like, there's more to a survival horror game than shipping, as a lot of people have said that, this is a survival horror game, this is not a love story. Okay, something is something is written in the memo. Okay. First digit left, right. Second digit left. Third digit right. Fourth digit right. Okay. Okay. You must not reset while something. Wait. Okay. First digit left, right. Second digit left. Third digit right. Fourth digit right. Okay. Good. Okay, so like I said, I know it'll piss some shippers off, but bro, it would be it would be a nice twist because if Chris is gonna be 52 years old, it would not be unusual if Grace was his daughter. Okay, so if they go that angle, then I think, they can tie in a bit more than, like, I'm getting sick and tired of this. Wait a minute. That is an unnecessary puzzle? Okay, so that's the angle they can go with there, that Chris basically did what he did to you know, to keep his daughter safe and whatnot. And maybe that's how, you know, they can have a flashback where they actually show that yes, Alyssa is actually dead, but at one point Alyssa was alive. So basically, you know, they can retell what led to her death. So in that way, they can do a pre and post type of scenario. So in terms of storytelling, I think that would be a good direction. Okay. Lord Almighty. Okay. But other than that, yeah, like the story must have a good culmination at the end, because some of these people, it needs to end somewhere. Okay, Chris is gonna be 52 years old. Leon's gonna be 48 years old. I'm like, jeez. There's something called passing on the mantle. Did anyone ever hear of that in Capcom? Or no, sorry, passing on the torch. First Gotham, then the world. First Gotham, then the world. Up and at them. Finger poke of doom or... Thankfully I saved here. Okay, so that's if Chris is there. If Leon's there, then like, you know, I don't know where they're gonna go with the story. Okay, the third person, if Jill is there, that would be also a very interesting take. I mean, see, me personally, I'm a wrestling fan, okay, or I used to be a wrestling fan, so sometimes I wanna, like, you know, I like to incorporate things from wrestling, especially in terms of storytelling. I want someone to turn heel. I want someone to become a villain. I'm not sure how many I had this, but yeah. So, and if that person is Jill, then you know that would be sweet. It might be because, you know, whilst under Wesker's influence, Jill saw things that like, you know, Chris didn't, or Jill learned some things about Wesker where he was right, or some dumb thing like that. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Okay, guys, let me just concentrate here. I hate you, game. I hate you, game. I hate you, game. Right, so... okay, the person who is there, who would make the least amount of sense is Claire, okay? Because Claire has no business being in Raccoon City. Okay. However, another person who we did not talk about, who also has very good reason to be in Raccoon, Sherry, because Sherry's entire home was Raccoon City. So after the ending of Resident Evil 6, if Sherry's in Raccoon City, then... All right, guys. So, like I said, Jake Mueller, nah. Don't bring him back. Don't bring him. Jake Mueller, don't bring him back. Who else? You know what? Let's just chop it up real quick. Okay, Jake Mueller, no. Bruce McGivern, no. Although, like, you know, he's the only guy who ended a Resident Evil game whilst making love. as in like like something out of an older James Bond movie. So like I think he's earned his retirement that way. But so like easily the what I call the coolest guy in Resident Evil, Bruce McGivern. Okay, so who else we got? Rebecca Chambers. No, it wouldn't make sense for her to come back either. Although, like there's a new virus going around, and she's like a virus. She's like a virologist, so in some capacity as a side character, it would make sense for her to come back. But we also learned that the scale of Resident Evil, the scale of Resident Evil 9 is going to be huge. So there is a chance that a lot of people will be in this game. Although I haven't heard anything if like anything from Stephanie Panizzalo or anyone else like about like them being in the game. Although like when it comes to acting and voice acting roles and all that, there are a lot of NDAs involved. So it might be a case of just them not being able to talk because of NDAs. Okay. So in that capacity, in that regard, like you can expect like Barry, maybe Moira Burton would not feel the right place. Jessica, the girl with the butt cheek hanging out in Resident Evil Revelations, maybe some of the Resident Evil Revelations roster. Who else do you have? Because there was a name that was buzzing around in my head. Oh, and please, no Ada, no Ada. I mean, if there is a Leon, no Ada. If there is an Ada, then please no Leon. Okay, can we get one time where Ada is shown without Leon? Okay, like like I hate to use this word, but that like even Ada's treatment is a little misogynistic. I'm like, can she tell her own story instead of like relying on Leon to tell a story? And that will give Ada more room to more exposition room. Like, okay, if there is no Leon but there are other characters that Ada is not attached to, not as close to like as Leon, it would give Ada's character some room to grow, and also would provide some much needed exposition to her to her character's backstory and whatnot. So that is another angle they can go. There's one addition they can have. Now, when it comes to, I don't know, other people, because like, guys, just give me a moment, because there was a name that was buzzing around in my head, and it's just, I just can't catch it right. Sheva, no. Okay, anyways, like if it comes back to me, it'll come back to me. But those are my thoughts on the potential story of Resident Evil 9 in terms of the villain. Okay, anyone except a returning Albert Wesker. Okay, please, anyone but a returning Albert Wesker. Okay, if they have to even turn Chris heel, okay, do it, because oh yeah, now I remember what the point is trying to make. It's not because of that. Okay, and like and this goes back to the point of Grace being Chris's daughter, and Grace used her mother's maiden name and not her father's name in any way, just to fend off the suspicion of Grace being Chris's daughter. Okay, something you saw out of Metal Gear Solid 4, like when Rose, wait, when Rose had that kid, right? Apparently, like Campbell's kid. Yeah, it was actually Jack's kid, but they just said it as Campbell's kid so that the automated Patriot system would not use their child as a blackmailing tool. Okay, so maybe something along those lines. But like I said, the most likely people to start a family, okay, it's actually not Chris or Leon. It's this girl right here. It's Claire. The most likely person to start a family should be Claire, because Claire works for an NGO where she basically, like, provides supplemental support. Okay? And, like, she is not expected to be boots on the ground, guns, gun in hand, ready to take on a biohazard. That's not her expected role. If it comes to it, she has the ability to survive, but it's not something she'll be willingly be ready to put herself in. Unlike the BSAA members. So if anyone is most likely to start a family, it's Claire. But given that by the time of by the time of Death Island, which was it, 2015, the game timeline. So she is. Oh wait, hold on. Quick math here. By 2008, she was 29. 29 plus 7, 36. She was 36 years old and still had no family. Okay, still had no family, still had no love interest. Whereas she's the most likely person to do that because she has the most stable role that allows her that type of time to dedicate to a family. Okay, the fact that she didn't, coupled with everything else we know about what happens to Claire on a psychological level after Code Veronica, is yet another piece of evidence that, and this is something like initially when I made these discoveries, I did not see it this way. I thought that eventually she will recover, and yeah, if I didn't mention it, yes, she did show some recovery, some psychological recovery. At least she is willing to go into a biohazard, but accompanied by a lot of other people. It's like someone who's traumatized to go out of the house, but eventually ends up starting to go out of the house, but only accompanied by the people she trusts the most, or he or she trusts the most, like step out of the house. That's basically what happened to Claire after losing Steve. Okay. So, but one of my friends, I think, one of my someone who I know in real life, okay, referee Rob Jackson, he said this, that he was showing my music video to his girlfriend, that time girlfriend. He said that, take a look, Tan made this, that after Steve died, Claire never loved anyone again. Up until that point, I never saw it that way, but you know what? He has a very good point. He has a very, very good point. But okay, but Claire's trauma aside, I won't say second most person, but you would think that, the other Resident Evil people would at least start and have families or something. So that angle brought into in Resident Evil Requiem would be very nice. And finally, the name Requiem, okay, or Requiem, however you want to pronounce it, because I've seen it pronounced, several ways. Requiem. Okay, this is like Resident Evil religious solace or something like that. Okay. This further gives an indication that there might be a cult, or someone actually may die, because Requiem is in a, look it up. It's an act of respect and mourning shown to people who have been lost, lost souls, departed souls. So maybe someone dies. And guys, like if you're watching this as a VOD, like do let me know if someone dies, and if Claire's not gonna be in this, who is it that's gonna die? Oh, please, please not Grace Ashcroft, because they just debuted her, and like biting off a little bit of Ursa Titanium was what he said. You had so many one-off characters. You had Bruce McGivern, Billy Cohen, okay, Steve Burnside, Piers, whatever his name is, okay, and like Pedro, Gabe, Neil, like Helen, all these like one-off characters. Do you need another one-off character? So please, like, if someone has to die, please let it be one of the legacy characters, because yes, as much as people may not like it, okay, people are not immortal, and if I'm not mistaken, unlike Jill, okay, who has the plot armor of being infected with a virus that slows down her aging and whatnot, basically, like you've seen that what's her name, Emmergene from Fallout 4. She's actually like I think like 200 or 400 years old, but due to her consuming grandfather's blood, like stays forever young or something like that. Okay, so they gave that plot armor to Jill Valentine, but Chris does not have that plot armor. So I mean, I would hate for it to be Chris, and a lot of other people would hate for it to be Leon, okay? And to be honest, like I would have had it be Claire, but for it to be Claire needs to be in her own game with minimal input from other people. Okay, like in Code Veronica, you have a good part that is, that's with Chris. No, not even that. Like if there's a Chris part, just have it minimal. But in the end, guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons. This is your boy, the Veer Side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.